Greetings and salutations. I'm your boy Kami the Faded Saint, and this is Limited Series. Well guys, it's been a while. Sorry about the lack of updates, but you know, the holidays happened, work got busy, the search for Drive, and then Mardi Gras. It just kind of all got away from me. But I did find Drive, and I know I promised that's what I was going to do next, but then something else happened. You see, I kind of got word last week that a Wheel of Time pilot had aired on FX at like 1:30 in the morning. But that's not necessarily a good thing because it's not necessarily really a pilot. Confused? Well, in order to understand that and the Wheel of Time, let me go ahead and give you this very brief info. The Wheel of Time is a book series written by the late Robert Jordan right up until his death, and then handed off to Brandon Sanderson for the last 2 books. If you've ever wondered why your book geek friends are worried that George R.R. Martin's not going to finish Game of Thrones before his death, this is why. The story revolves around a fantasy setting and the 3 chosen ones that shape and change the world and as they realize their destiny. It's way more than that, and there's way more characters to get into, but I'll leave it for the sake of brevity. There are tons of fans of this series, and myself included among them, so imagine our surprise when I found out that Red Eagle Entertainment had made a TV pilot, and then it aired in some crazy infomercial spot in the dead of the night. Just keep that in mind. We're going to come back to that in the synopsis. Now, in the age of Game of Thrones and all of these lovely book adaptation movies, how bad can this pilot really be? Well, we're going to answer that question right now. This is Winter Dragon. We start off with a voiceover telling us about the Third Age of Man. Basically, it talks about the Dark One and how he raised an army until champions of the land rose up behind one champion.
Luz Theron Telamon, a man known as the Dragon.
Hey man, Bruce Lee is the only dragon we recognize on this show. So, we get the opening credits and, oh crap, Billy Zane? Not even through the credits, and we've already got the kiss of death on this show. Lovely. So, we begin seeing the previously mentioned Luz Theron Telamon, played by Max Ryan, wandering around his house, calling out the names of his wife and kids. They seem to be playing the world's most annoying game of hide-and-seek imaginable.
Luz Jr.
This way, silly.
Skya! I'll catch you!
I'm over here. Luz.
You can't hide forever.
Lord of the morning. At long last, I have come for you.
Oh crap, run! Billy Zane has come to claim your career! Actually, he's just come here to confront Luz. The mysterious stranger curiously watches as Luz makes excuses for his family until...
Satan take you, has the taint got you so deep in its grip?
We'll get to that, but he continues.
Remember, you light-blinded idiot. I will not have it end this way with you swaddled in unawareness.
Who are you?
Once I was known as Elin Morin Tedranai.
Betrayer of home.
So men have named me, as they have named you, Dragon. They gave me my name to revile me. But I'll make them kneel and worship it.
Luz ain't feeling this and wanders off, now more frantically looking for Ileana and his kids. While wandering, he finds them momentarily until he's distracted by stepping on a burnt doll. So, naturally, he runs off calling Ileana's name again.
Ileana!
Seriously, this is like half the script here. I mean, we're a third of the way through, and this is all we've got so far. So Luz finds a path of dolls, and still screaming, Ileana! Ileana! Seriously, this is getting old. Anyway, he wanders to a... bedroom? Closet? I don't know, but we see suddenly that he's disheveled and wearing rags. Billy Zane is there, and he starts taunting him.
Once you wore the ring of Tamerlane and sat on the high seat. Once You summoned the 9 rods of dominion. And now, you humbled me in the hall of servants. You defeated me at the gates of Paradisem. But I am the greater now, and I will not let you die without you knowing that. When you die, your last thought will be your complete and utter defeat.
And that would mean something if you ever bother to explain any of it. Spoiler, they don't. Anyway, Luz hallucinates more about his family playing Parcheesi, I guess.
Hooray, the singing has begun.
Go, hurry, let's go.
Ileana!
Oh crap, this again. Will you just get on with it?
Get on with it. Yes, get on with it!
Billy Zane is tired of this, and you will stop being a crazy lunatic. He decides to heal his madness, and now he, and we, can see he's in a big room wearing rags all alone. You may be noticing at this point that there's a severe lack of jokes and clips here. That's because we're halfway through the freaking episode, and this is all I have to work with. There's nothing here. Can I get something? Can we get Dean? Can you help me out?
Nope.
Thanks, Dean. So now, Luz is in a dark room with the bodies of his wife and kids around him.
Light! Help me! Help me!
This is exciting as it gets. The ghost of Billy Zane's career taunts him and offers to bring him back if he serves the Dark Lord. Luz rebukes him, and honestly, I'm giving him a lot of crap, but Billy Zane is the only thing that's keeping me awake here.
10 years? You and I have fought battles for 1,000 years upon the turning of the wheel, 1,000 times 1,000, and we will fight again until time dies and the shadow is victorious.
So, Luz says that he will destroy Billy Zane for killing her, but then Billy drops us the bomb.
Remember, you fool. What hand slew Ileana's son Hare? What hand struck down every life that bore a drop of your blood? Everyone you loved. Everyone who loved you. Not mine. Not mine. Kinslayer.
And this is the entire special effects budget right here. So, Billy Zane explains that the Dark One poisoned the One Power, and it's been stained so that any man that draws upon it will slowly lose his mind. And they mean that actually literally. Any man that draws from the One Power is going to lose his marbles. With women are safe, they draw from a different part of the One Power. Not like, that's important to explain or anything. So, Billy Zane summons a hoish-looking version of his wife to tempt him into serving him, and by extension, the Dark One. And after a moment, he denies them, picks up his sword, and just wanders off. Then we get the voiceover chick.
And the shadow fell upon the land, and the world was riven stone from stone. The oceans fled, and the mountains were swallowed up, and the nations were scattered to the 8 corners of the world. The moon was as blood, and the sun was as ashes. The seas boiled, and the living envied the dead. All was shattered, and all but memory lost, and one memory above all others, of him who brought the shadow and the breaking of the world.
Get on with it!
Let the arm of the Lord of the Dawn shelter us from the dark, and the great sword of justice defend us. Let the dragon ride again on the winds of time.
And that's it. No, seriously, that's it. They've given me nothing to work with for this review. Where do I start with this video? I can say, without a doubt, and with complete authority, that this was a thing that happened. It is a slap in the face of every fan. It's just 2 guys talking back and forth. No action, nothing to get a scope of what they're talking about, nothing. If you haven't read the books, you are completely lost. It's basically the prologue chapter of the first book, which is 6 pages, but it's done so very poorly that you fall asleep. But then, what do you expect here? This script was written in 3 days. It was filmed in 2, and it was put on the air on the day of the deadline that Red Eagle was going to lose the rights to the franchise for the sole purpose of keeping it. Oh yeah, this wasn't a pitch for a show. This was just a grab for property rights so that they wouldn't lose it. And that, my friends, is the worst kind of limited series. And I mean that. This is the IMDb page for it, and it's only here that you learn that Billy Zane was Ishmael, one of the main antagonists of the entire series. But it gets even weirder from there. The next morning, Robert Jordan's widow, Harriet, immediately issued a statement that this was done without her consent, and there was some existing contract with Universal. Red Band Entertainment quickly thereafter filed a slander lawsuit saying that Universal had temporary contract through them, but the rights had since reverted to them. So it's all turned into this big, giant mess. And who really loses here? Us, the fans. We lose. Because with all of this, there will be no movies. There will be no TV shows, no animated shows. There will just be litigation. And that is a crying shame. I'm not much of a reader. It's not that there's anything wrong with it, it's just I've never gotten into books like a lot of my friends have. And so this is really kind of personal for me because The Wheel of Time was the first book series that I really got into, that I could read along and talk to my friends with, that I would wait with just complete anticipation for the next book to come out, like a good number of my friends would do. I love this book series for all of its flaws, and I know it has its detractors, but this book series is special to me, and I'd always hoped that I would get to see some kind of an adaptation, but I don't see it in sight. And that's just a disservice to everyone, and to Robert Jordan's legacy. So, wrap-up time, dear friends. The Winter Dragon. Well, you know how the pilots goes. Should it have stayed? Or are we glad it's gone? Honestly, I wish it was never made. Well, with that said, that brings this thoroughly depressing episode to a close. But fear not, kids, because there's more on the way. Because, as I said at the top of the show, we did indeed find Drive, and that's what we're going to be doing next. So, keep on the lookout. I may not be doing an every week schedule, but rest assured, they are coming. I'm your boy Kami, the Faded Saint. And